Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel. I am so excited for this episode. I am very proud that my videos are doing so well after a bit of hiatus from the Beyonce experience. I'm so happy that some of my viewers are very in tune with this chapter 5 of my Beyonce theory. That means so much to me. You guys have no idea how long I've been trying to make videos and making sure you guys get fed well on my channel. And for my Bleach fans, we will definitely be talking about more things after the 3-part things from my Beyonce things. So like I mentioned, this episode is titled The Soft Launch of Act 3. Now, as you guys know, Cowboy Carter is now in the barn. We are now focusing on the next act, which, like I said, like we normally do, we will be naming the next horse in the next following episode. I'm still thinking of the name, but like I said, with Renaissance and Cowboy Carter under her belt, we are now focusing on what the next act should be and the next name of the act. Now, I mentioned this before that Cowboy Carter is now leaving the stable and going back to it. And Beyonce is slowly but surely releasing the soft launch of Act 3. Now, like I mentioned before in episode 2, I have theories that Beyonce was using self-titled Beyonce, her 5th album, as well as Lemonade as the pilot episodes or the pilot albums to born the trilogy act. Beyonce did pay tribute to Prince before, back in 2016, and for her to embody Prince and her Halloween, I think it was like back in 2022 or 2023. And now when she released Act 2 during the Super Bowl last year, a lot of people was in a frenzy, and still this day, this was probably the best commercial that has came out in the modern era. The other crazy thing is the F1 Grand Prix at the Las Vegas was not just for show. Beyonce did do this before. She back in 2009 when she dressed up and met Lewis Hamilton at that time. I think he was still new at that time, but now he is more of a legend stature, and Beyonce came right back. So the imagery between 2009 and 2025 is insane to see the evolution of her going back and referencing herself yet again. It's cool to see that she's out and about doing Beyonce things, as well as her husband Jay-Z is there as well. Now, what I find even more interesting is that Beyonce has a way of trickling some of the Easter eggs. Like, for one, with the Louis Vuitton, especially Pharrell is now one of the faces directors of Louis Vuitton. I remember Pharrell gave Beyonce like this bag, right? It was like during the fashion show or something. And now Beyonce recreated that look from 2009 and now. So these colors that she is wearing, I believe, could be for the next act. I think the style for the next act, I think the background or even the background of the horse is going to be a bit different. I think it's going to follow the same trajectory, a black background, but this time with a red horse and with like a white ensemble in between it. I believe that it's going to be like a very mechanical, rusted bronze type of horse. I think I've already said that I will be announcing the name of the horse in the next episode. I think it will be fitting to give it a name. And a lot of people were saying, like, after the tour, Beyonce looked mad thick. And I was like, listen, mama's looking thick. If she's looking thick, she's looking thick. She was holding that jacket and hoping Jay-Z going through, and everybody was just trying to take pictures. And one thing I spotted is like the color palette that she wore is very similar to the same type of color that she had on when she was sitting under that truck for Cowboy Carter. That Cowboy Carter truck that was going all around different places. It popped up at the Coachella. It popped up at Chloe and Hailey Coachella set. Like, Beyonce was intentionally doing that until Cowboy Carter was released. On top of that, the way she promoted Cowboy Carter compared to Renaissance is vastly different. And not to mention, if I'm not to mention this right, I don't think she did a regular promotion for Renaissance like that. She kind of like, in a way, dropped the music, and then we had to be in tune to it, which was the single. And then when the single became part of the entire 15 other tracks, we saw that it was even better than it sound. Similar to that look, that Chinese look, Korean, I'm not sure if it's like a K-pop influence, and then it's almost as if like she is just like from the start on the January 15 2025 font that she had. It's almost as if she is now letting everybody know that we are officially closing out the Cowboy Carter and we are going into full speed. When you think of the race, you think how fast, and she managed to get into the car with Lewis Hamilton. And it seems as if Jay-Z almost had a heart attack when Beyonce was just having fun. I saw like a snippet of her like on TikTok, and it was everywhere, but it was like she was in the car just having mad fun. Like, it's crazy to see that she is twinkling and dropping little prizes of, she is throwing hints at Tina Turner, as well as the fact that in one of the Renaissance ballads that she did for the opening, it was Mountain High, which was also a Tina Turner song, and that she revered Tina Turner very much. So seeing that accomplish to what she planned on doing for, mind you, she's 44 currently, and Tina Turner, when she released I think it was Professional Dancer, she was around 44 years old, and she released it within May 29th. So a lot of people have been speculating that with that happening. And then here's another crazy fact. Tina Turner did the same way of like taking a picture with one of these other past legend F1 race car drivers, and Beyonce did the same thing with Lewis Hamilton. So in a way, it kind of connects in some weird way. On top of that, she also did something very similar to Tina Turner with the Levi commercial, where she ride it off from the town on a motorcycle. And then Tina Turner, with one of her covers for her album, like her rock album, it was Professional Dancer. She was sitting on this nice motorcycle with white inner rims, indicating that Beyonce is channeling parts of her legendary figure, like her mentor, and at the same time she's putting a spin on it. She's wearing black, she's wearing white, and she's wearing red. These will be, I think, the color palettes for the cover of the next act. And she is throwing the rock symbol by her hand gesture, and Jay-Z's throwing the 2 peace sign, almost as if it's like peace and rock. And what's even more insane is that they're going around in different snippets of doing that. So I believe with the kickoff of what's coming next, which will be, this is a soft launch. This is a soft launch of Act 3, similar to when she showed up in the Grammys with a country hat, and then boom, Cowboy Carter was released, and then she gave us a tour, a date, and then out of nowhere, a lot of people were freaking out, and then she dropped 2 singles during the Super Bowl. Similar to this is a soft launch. I think she's gonna do another commercial during the next Super Bowl, or she might do a commercial for the upcoming Met Gala. And she gave us 2 looks the same day when this was posted. One from a rock star type of race car driver, and then to like almost like this other figure of this Ferrari black red look. And then that look, she is literally almost as if singling the go for Act 3. Like, this is insane. This is freaking insane. Like I said, maybe her next sponsor is going to be the F1 Residence Grand Prix, or she might do an event there. A lot of people have been speculating she might do an event there. There was in the interlude of Cowboy Carter where she wanted to do something with the spear, and mind you, she predicted that in the Cowboy Carter commercial with Verizon. But I think she changed that because it seems as if they couldn't come to an agreement. So now she switched that. And it's almost like, I think for this act, we're going to see Beyonce more up front and personal. I think she's going to revert back into making interviews. I think each act, she gave something a bit different. With Cowboy Carter, she kind of like went around, spoke to certain people, went to certain things, and kind of like spoke to people. I think this was the first time we saw her more out and about. And then it's almost like the imagery that she's posting, it's like she's giving us a bit of mystery that is under the hood, right? She's wearing this red suit, bodysuit. In the back says Cowboy Carter, indicating that we're ending Cowboy Carter, but there's still one more thing that Cowboy Carter needs to play before it completely gone. The same color palette imagery reminds me of the Resistance Revolution flag, which is the red, black, and gold. And the checkerboard is like giving it a green of a go to kick off that. Now, it's a lot of everything about this woman is not random. Everything is intentional and it's executed into such high precise. And she was taking pictures with a bunch of race car drivers, and like I'm assuming the crew that works with them. She was taking pictures on a lot of things. Not only she was wearing a horse hat, the matching suit jacket that covers her also had one of those horses. And like I said, I think what she's gonna try to mirror is a part of Tina Turner's career, but she's gonna spin it in her own way. I already mentioned that there are some key players that she's gonna put in there. For one, I think she's gonna try to talk to either Michael Jackson estate. I definitely see her covering Dirty Diana or Let's Go Crazy or what's that other song Prince have? If I see her do a Purple Rain, that's just gonna be crazy. I definitely see her doing hits of 4 or 5 different great artists. Now we know that she already predicted some of those things in her interludes, like covering Little Richard because he is the rock and roll architect. She's gonna be covering a lot of heavy hitter singers and writers that changed the game for rock and roll. Now the only thing now is, for the people that's in the world of rock, are you guys gonna be more welcoming than country? Because that's a boost in sales, I think, too. People that were never in country or people that were never in rock and roll will step into rock and roll because of Beyonce. And the way she do boosts of sales for different genres, that gives them a spotlight. right? Like anything that she do, it's gonna be for the not only the culture, but the spotlight of that, genre. And like I said, she was standing behind this giant board, says welcome to fabulous Vegas, which she was looking quite fabulous, if I'm more to say myself. Like I said, thank you guys so much. This was just a recap episode, which talks about her appearance, and I would think the connection what she might do. See you guys. Bye bye.